Hello. Hi. It's me. How's it going? Good? I hope so. We're gonna read a story. Or, I'm gonna read a story, you're gonna listen to me read the story. You're not actually reading it. Unless you read along, which is weird. Why would you listen to an audiobook while reading the book? That's strange. Anyway, this is from our friend, That Green Bear. You know the one. This is Yuen returns after the breakup with NHB to make him jealous with her new vampire fiancé. That is a very long title. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. Probably just Vampire Fiancé or something weird like that. But yeah, this is where we're going. So I hope you're ready. Buckle in. Do what you gotta do. Grab your favorite snack and your favorite drink. Then be prepared for the leg beardery and neck beardery that lay ahead. No particular trigger warnings. I will say this, there are scary, heavy topics in this story. Proceed with caution, read at your own discretion, and please, feel free to stop at any time if it becomes too much. I'm marking this as NSFW, just in case. Well, you guys have that option. I don't. So we only have one new character added to the cast, which is Vamp, that is Yuen's new boyfriend, and a quote-unquote real vampire in his 30s. They got engaged? ? So, yeah, here we go. Last we left off, oh, the drama, the woe. ROP had finally completed her mission and gotten NHB to go on a date with Mimic. Hooray! But for some reason, OP also saw them on that date and realized that it made her jealous, and she did the emotional math and realized, I look like an idiot. Oh no. A few more days pass, and I'd already developed a habit of avoiding both Mimic and NHB, so it wasn't hard to continue that. I didn't want to see either one of them. NHB, as usual, sought me out, though.
Oh, hey, stranger. Haven't seen you in a while.
Oh, hey.
So, I was on a date with Mimic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it kinda sucked. I don't like her, and I don't care what she says. She's a lot like you, and I left her for a reason. You really think you could give me a chance?
Oh my god, the manipulation off of this guy is just like... I can smell it from here. It's fucking... wow. I had had time to think about it. My current boyfriend, the long-distance one, when I told him my mother had passed away, he basically said, oh, and started to complain about how worried he is that his stepdad might kick him out if he doesn't cough up rent money. He still lived with his parents. He was incapable of processing or soothing me whenever someone near me had passed away, and I hadn't figured out how to break up yet. It was my first relationship, after all. That's understandable. Early ones are, a little rough. But yeah, my dude was on the spectrum, and he wasn't very good with feelings, and I wasn't very good with communicating with him anyway, in a way that he could grasp the importance of, well, someone close to you dying. Still, I wanted to figure out how I could leave him on good terms before I pursued anything else. So, I rejected NHB again. I'm still in a relationship, but as I said before, we can be friends, right?
Yeah, fine. Oh dear God.
Mimic walks in a huff, extends her hand towards NHB and demands $15, please. Both me and NHB look confused.
What?
$15 for the date? I paid. You owe me. Pay me back.
I ain't paying you back.
Mimic groaned in frustration and grabbed my hand. Greenie, could you please come with me? I need to speak to you. Sure, NHB grabs my other hand.
No, she's with me now. You can bother her with your stupid shit later.
What? And I really sincerely wish I'd never had the honor of literally being torn from one arm by Mimic to come with her, and held in place the other with NHB. In my head, a small part of me was dying from laughter because this was so stupid and I couldn't believe I was worth tearing in half. No, seriously, I wish I wasn't being pulled from both arms and back and forth like I was some kind of fucking doll that they were fighting over. It was no fun and it hurt more than I'd let on. Guys, I don't remember exactly after 10 plus years what they said to each other, but it was along the lines of, Look, you fucking loser. If you won't give me my money back because you used me and lied to me about being interested and giving me a chance, at least give me my friend. She was mine first.
She's not your pet. She could choose to be with whoever she wants to be with. You've been nothing but rude to her. Why would she want to talk to you?
You stupid asshole, let her go. Guys.
This is crazy. This crazy shit is exactly why I could never like you. Why can't you behave like a normal person? Really, gentle, kind, and charitable, and not at all like you would, clearly. You're such a chore, you can't even shove off.
Mimic had combat boots on that day. She let go of me to kick NHB in the shin. NHB didn't like the pain show, tough guy as he wanted to be. She then marched away, defeated. I also walked out.
And where are you going? Just got rid of her.
I don't want to speak to either one of you just now. It's very noble of you to protect my free will, yet still make a choice for me as to who I want to spend time with. Well, guess what? Neither. And I walked away, my arms sore. I mentioned that I had an account on DeviantArt. Well, around this time, a certain someone, UN, started leaving hateful comments all over my profile, my art, my private messaging NHB to come back or to go harm himself. Impressively, sometimes both in the same message, adding me to NHB's "Hey, hello" comment changed with or just, I can't say that on YouTube. What I personally found the weirdest or worst was the comments calling me a slut, whore, cocksleeve, etc. I was 15. I was a virgin. I was quite shy and prude. I mean, later on it made sense, pot calling kettle, but at the time it felt strange and hurtful because I'd been bullied and called many things, but usually they had something to do with the topics that were actually relevant, like me being poor. Check, that I was, or my parents being junkies. Took me many years to figure that one out, but yes, also factually correct. But a whore? That I was not. To the upcoming dismay of NHB. Eventually things cooled down with NHB and Mimic. Not between them, but if I kept her and him separate, they were cool with me and the fact that I was still friends with both of them. NHB seemed to have finally accepted that we were not going to be a thing, and I had decided that if we did, I wanted to square things away with LDR boyfriend first. So I had a sleepover with NHB. Neckbeard Mistake 101. Red alert. Brace yourselves. I imagine this is going to be ugly, but go ahead. Now, I had had one or two sleepovers at his place already, and things were fine. NHB lived in a house with his two younger brothers and his mother and 3 to 5 dogs. There was always some rustling, banging, laughing, shouting, a TV going, dogs skittering, snoring. This house was alive. And my sad ass loved it. I felt safe because everyone was in the house. I did sleep in the same room with NHB, but his mother was literally in the next room over that didn't have a door but just a thin curtain between the rooms. I thought I was okay. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. I don't like where this is going. We slept in separate single beds in his room. He used to share it with his brother after all. That were like several meters apart from each other. I did have feelings for an HB, but I had decided to try and break up in a nice, polite way with my current boyfriend, as soon as I figured out how one does that, before trying anything, and was mostly just soothed by all the noises that his home had. I wasn't much bothered by him or my feelings for him. It just felt safe, not with him, but in the house, because there were so many sounds.
I can't take this anymore.
I'd almost fallen asleep, and his whisper, while intense, was also quiet. Suddenly, he was on top of me, kissing me. Whoa! I froze. I was panicked. Eventually, he stopped and left because I did nothing. My 15-year-old brain took this as romantic and not assault. Again, that 2020 hindsight. Yeah. Fucking wow. So I broke it off with my online boyfriend and told NHB that we could see how it goes. Try dating. He was over the moon. Legit made a backflip out of joy. He could do this back then. All that wushu practice, y'all. As we started dating, he came to my place, my brother's, who's obviously at work always. I was on and off, now talking to my ex on the computer. Remember the good old MSN days? We ended the relationship amicably, so I didn't see why we couldn't still be friends. The evening started pretty normal, had a meal, watched a movie, talked. At some point, I made an exaggerated point about how one of my friends likes to use her boobs to get things from men, and I too, emulating this friend, squished the sweater puppies together. NHB jaw dropped and drooled so hard that he spit on the floor. I screamed and ran to the bathroom and locked it. So, my looks. I'd felt, due to bullying, ugly my entire life. I was normal height, or tallish, I guess. 170 centimeters. I don't know how tall all that is in feet. You'll have to do the math yourself. Blonde hair, light skin, freckles sort of flared up in the summer, but they were kind of there during winters too. I was thin. I did have a large chest area. However, I never flaunted that. I had very few girly clothes. Most were hand-me-downs from my brother. And I was not, on that evening, wearing anything sexy at all. Like full coverage, long-sleeve pajama. That didn't matter. He oogled and drooled in that moment. I felt more hideous than ever. But while we sat on opposite sides of the bathroom door, he tried to sweet-talk it into a cute, flattering thing instead of being really fucking creepy. I wouldn't understand until after I left him, but the grooming and gaslighting had begun.
How you felt in this situation wasn't how you really felt. This situation was nice and beautiful, and you shouldn't ruin it by asking too many ugly questions. Just enjoy it.
I felt vile saying that, and I realized that I don't know this person, but I'm starting to get the anger. You guys feeling that? I'm starting to get it. I was really lonely. I had only a long-distance relationship, and here he was promising not to be creepy. I couldn't really stay locked in the bathroom forever either, could I? So I unlocked the door, came out. Things were awkward, but mellowed out after a while. We watched another movie, and watched it on my brother's bed, which kind of doubled as a sofa, since there was no room for a sofa and bed in that apartment. I don't remember how or why, but a pillow fight and playful wrestling ensued. I'll admit, that was fun. Then he kissed me again, and this time I was pretty okay with it. Up until he tried to touch my chest. I went stiff as a board and harshly pulled his hands off with a firm no. Something caught my eye. Something in my peripheral moved. I jumped out of the bed onto the computer, which I'm sure I had to shut down, but it was on. So was MSN Messenger. The webcam was on in the chat I had with my ex. What? I'm 100% convinced that I had not put the webcam on that day at all. I am also 100% convinced that NHB initiated the kissing and the touching to show my LDR ex that I was his now. Wow. I had not seen what he was doing while I locked myself in the bathroom, but I know I never wanted to hurt my ex like that. He was dense, but he wasn't a bad person, despite NHB trying his hardest to paint the guy as Baldy 2.0. This was too fucking cruel. No, honey, that's fucking evil. What he did was violate your privacy and then use that to assault somebody else. Fuck this loser. Fuck him and fuck his stupid headband and fuck his stupid anime. I don't give a shit. Fuck him. Now I'm real mad. I cried and wrote him that I am so sorry and swore it was not intentional. I could already feel in that very moment how hard it would be for him to believe me it wasn't planned, and it hurt me a lot. I feel bad about it to this day, even though it wasn't me. You should not have to feel bad about it. This was this creepy, abusive, controlling motherfucker. That is some straight up fucking evil. Oh, I hate this boy. So I was dating NHB now. Hooray. Oh, I had to tell Mimic about it too, and guess what? She wasn't happy. She screamed at me some, then refused to speak to me for some time. Then one day she came up to me and slapped me. My friends almost jumped her for that, but I lifted a hand like, no, wait. And I don't think what she did was okay, but I understood where she was coming from, and I didn't want to escalate things. We didn't talk or see each other for some months after that. NHB wanted to have a go at Mimic for the slap, though. Had to stand between them because they were actually going to have to fight each other, which was the dumbest thing, but luckily after I managed to get them both to quit it, they were content to ignore one another. And this is where UN made her re-emergence. She had her iconic scowl, like a shitty anime villain, and was hanging on the arm of some goth dude. This guy was nearing his 30s, and she was 16. You know, Greenie, I know that this is not intentional, my green bear friend, but how is it you manage to find every single thing that sends me into a blind fucking fury? I've never thought about, strangling a goth dude. Feeling it right now, though. Pretty feeling it. Yeah. He was apparently a vampire, and guess what? UN was too. She brought him to hang around our junior high in an attempt to make NHB jealous, and beg her to come back. In all honesty, neither myself nor NHB really cared. Like, they'd just appear, this grown-ass man and this pissed-off legbeard, trailing after us, choosing a path where they'd walk past us, lurking in the hall, sitting, staring, scowling. How the fuck did he get in your school? Where the fuck was security? Holy shit. I mean, what were we supposed to do with that? I was weirded out, but they mostly kept their distance, so just kind of ignored them. Sometimes when they came to do their passes, Yuen would throw out loud comments she clearly meant for me to hear along the lines of, "Gosh, cheap traps are so easy to come by these days." Or, "Some people just have no taste, am I right, darling?" Etc. Like, her insults were, one, weirdly outdated. It's almost like she was attempting some Shakespearean insults, but they were just like, "Your Nana was trying to be gangsta." It doesn't quite translate to English either, but her insults were odd as hell. Like, she tried to call you something that no one has been called since like the 1800s. Two, she didn't know me at all. She was basically mostly calling me easy because I guess she'd assumed I must be to date NHB. I mean, in all fairness, you cheated on him, Yuen. And three, she tried to do them in a voice, as if she was an anime villain. Oh god, I bet she's one of those people who's like, "Ara, ara," unironically. That's one of those other things that I fucking hate. If you do that, or you unironically ooh, get the fuck off my channel. No, I hate that shit. When she was trying to be menacing and intimidate me in her own weird way, woo NHB back, I started to really think and look at her for the first time. Much like Frodo looked at Gollum. Here's this chick trying to look mean, but she turned her head away to hide crying. So I looked at her, not through what everyone said, but with my own eyes, and began asking myself questions like, how badly is she hurting inside if this is what she has to do for attention? Does she have any friends? My mom was, in many ways, my hero. She would tell me how she defended the downtrodden and befriended the unwanted, because everyone deserves someone, and most people are worth loving if you just give them a chance to shine. Mom sounds really fucking awesome, dude. I knew how bad it sucked to be alone, and I didn't just want to, but I needed to honor her memory. So I did the next dumbest thing in my life so far after agreeing to date NHB. I approached Yuen via DeviantArt. She wrote more or less her diary on there back in the day, all of her daily woes and sad poetry about wanting NHB back, etc. She had complained not being able to post art online because she had no scanner. I very gently and kindly sent her a note on DA like, "Hey, if you need to scan things, the local library lets you use their scanner for free if you just reserve it ahead of time." The one thing I am grateful about with meeting both NHB and Yuen is that I learned the hardest way possible to watch out for tidal waves of red flags. Pro-life hack number 1. If someone's a bit too quick, read instant, to be your friend, it's never a good thing. Run. Yuen melted because I gave her attention and a smidge of kindness. She opened up to me about a lot of things. Her whole life, basically, and the insane thoughts she had. For starters, she tried to convince me, NHB's girlfriend at the time, to convince NHB to take her back, just because I gave her a tip where she could scan her art. Yuen and Vamp didn't last more than a few months, maybe half a year, during which she lived with him, discovered her love of DDR, they got engaged, Vamp cheated on her, she left him, and he very dramatically threw his engagement ring into a river. Oh yeah, Yuen gonna go through so many people. Buckle up, y'all. Get a banjo ready to sing out all the people she hits on, manages to date, because if I tell you the ones I remember, they'll be the ones I've forgotten. It's still a long-ass list. Also, you will come to notice that Yuen changes. Every time she dates someone, she adapts her preferences accordingly. Dating a goth vampire that plays DDR and horror games, Yuen always loved DDR. She's been a vampire, and it's so into Silent Hill. You just didn't know. And her anime weeb clothes shifted more gothic Lolita. She attempted makeup with dramatic eyeliner. Usually she was strict no makeup person. She'd adjust all her views when her likes to match whoever she dated, to the extent that it made her friends exasperated, like, who are you, when she became someone else entirely based on whoever she was dating. Yeah, it sounds like somebody who's got a lot of issues with, attachment, and will do anything to make sure that they can secure a place with someone else. That speaks a lot to mental issues, if I'm being honest. Return back to the vampire thing and becoming her friend. She tried to explain to me how she knows she's always been a vampire. I've always been nocturnal. I hate the sun. My skin is, so pale. My teeth are pretty sharp, too. Look. And she flashed me her teeth and her absolutely horrid breath. She had normal teeth. I commented as much. This upset her. I also love to bite things, hard. I even draw blood when I bite people. I love it. It's like a sexual thing. I get really turned on from biting. Me, bored with her trying so hard. I'm sure you do. We were having this conversation on a public bus, by the way. Oh. My lack of awe and dread at this vampire I had made friends with made her angry, I guess, because she chose to suddenly bite my arm. Hard. Wow, that's fucking weird. This pissed me off, and I refused to give her the satisfaction of showing any pain. After an eternity of her clamping on my arm with her teeth, she stopped biting, and I simply asked, "You done?" She pouted the rest of the bus ride for not managing to intimidate or impress me with this garbage. I don't know, maybe she was hoping I might be turned on. I was not. The bite mark bruise was on my arm for 3 weeks. No sexy, sexy blood for the UN. It was all downhill from here. I had no supervision, no adults, no friends who looked at me and who I hung out with and went, "Oh, Greenie, that looks sus as fuck. Get the fuck out of there." Because if anyone had spent even a moment questioning my choices during those years instead of waving me off as the good, smart kid who knows what she's doing, I'm sure the years that follow wouldn't have taken their course. I very much say I used UN trying to fix her as a distraction from dealing with my loss, and also later on not to deal with or accept how bad and abusive NHB was. Her mess was easier and further removed from my own personal hell, so it was almost delightful to have headaches over her rather than my own dumpster fire. I'll get to NHB being abusive a bit too, but I want to try mostly to focus on Nookie because goddamn this person was a lot. Next time I'll talk about how UN managed to sleep between me and NHB, and he copped a feel from UN and blamed me for it. Wow. Okay. That's a lot to process, and I don't even know where to start. First off, I mean, we've barely touched on the subject of UN and NHB, but mostly NHB a lot in this one. I will say that I get maybe you didn't have a good breakup, or, I mean, in this case, obviously, Greenie did. But even if you don't, that's too fucking far, man. And especially the fact that he, not only turned on the computer, set up all this, and did this shit in order to initiate this whole, I'm the man now, look how much of a man I am. That is fucking next level evil. That is fucking creepy as shit. I don't know how you didn't just strangle this motherfucker, because I might have. I don't know what happened to the dramatic vampire, but, he's a creep who hits on 16-year-old girls, so fuck him. Don't care. UN, I'm sure, will have other things in the future because this is a hell of a story, and I'm sure there's more parts to this that'll, develop on that more. But right now, UN sounds like somebody who basically is in desperate need of attention because they're not getting the kind of attention that they need somewhere else. I'm going to assume family issues, but I could be very wrong. This is just an assumption after all. But after hearing this, all I can say is, Greenie, I am so fucking sorry you went through all this. I didn't even hear the rest of what NHB did, but that is some next level fucking evil, dude. I don't know what to say. That's fucked up, my man. And I am so sorry that you had to deal with that. I really hope you're okay. I've seen recently that you've, seen some of these videos and have joined, the subreddit and the Discord, which, hey, all of you listening are more than welcome to join both of those. But if you ever need to talk, man, we're all here. And I understand what it's like going through that kind of weird, crazy shit. I had some pretty fucked up relationships when I was young, too. Nobody tells you that they're going to be that crazy, especially when you're, one of those fringe people who kind of don't really go with the flow. I was a weird goth kid, too, and, nobody tells you that the people who do that kind of shit are also 10 kinds of insane, so, there's always those. Not everyone, but there's definitely a contingent. And those of you who are, into the whole scene, you know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, dude, if you ever need to talk, we're here. And that goes for any of you guys. Don't, try to hold this shit in. If you're in a bad situation, tell somebody. What Greenie said earlier in this does resonate with me. This idea of, you want to help people and make things better, and you want to do what you can to make everybody better. And I get that. I totally do. But there is a moment where you have to learn that some things, sometimes, you just can't do that, you can't keep yourself in a position with people who are obviously only there to do what they want and will hurt you in the process. I used to kind of be the same way. I was I can make everybody better no matter what weird, horrible subgroup I fell into. I did in the way. It didn't work. So I kind of bailed out, learned a few things, started working with myself and my own, and that's how I made this. Sometimes you just have to know when somebody is not actually wanting to get better. And sometimes you have to know when you're just not the one who can make other people better. Sometimes it's not your place, and that's okay too. But, you know, I'm certainly glad you're all here. I'm certainly glad that you're all safe, or at least I really hope you are. And, I love you guys so very much. Thanks for watching this video, you guys. You know, do the YouTube thing, check out the links, all that good stuff. I have all that stuff below this in every video, and on Saturday there's a live stream. So, you can send me your own weird stories in some of those links. You can even send me weird stuff in the mail, and I'll open it on video. It's true, I will do that. I don't have a life. This is what I do. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.